This month, we have several planets shifting into new signs of the zodiac, including Pluto, planet of death and rebirth, moving back into Aquarius. And we have Saturn, Lord of Karma, teacher of karmic lessons, turning back to direct motion in Pisces. All of this, an empowered moment and more in my new intuitive energy forecast for the month of November 2024. Stay tuned. Hello everyone, this is Colleen Lemma, Starseed Astrologer and Spiritual Messenger from Sacred Soul Empowerment, here to do your monthly intuitive energy forecast for November 2024. For this month, we're going to be using the Syrian Starseed Tarot by Patricia Corey and Alyssa Bartha. That will be the main message for everyone. Your special message card this month, depending on your stone of choice, is going to be coming from the Star Temple Oracle deck by Susie Cherub. So before we get into the numerology and astrology or the stones of choice for this month, let's go ahead, close our eyes, and do an empowered moment. So sitting up straight, yet your body is relaxed. Drop your shoulders. Allow yourself to relax from head to toe. Take a deep breath and exhale, releasing all that your body, mind, and soul no longer needs in this moment. And visualize, sense, see, feel, or just know that you're surrounded in the golden white light of God's source energy, goddess energy, great spirit, universe, all that is. This is the light of unconditional love and compassion, healing, peace, guidance, protection. Let's take in a deep conscious breath and breathe in that golden white light into every cell of our bodies. And as you exhale, allowing yourself to relax even more. And focus your attention right now on the idea of empowerment. What does empowerment mean to you? This month we are in Scorpio season, and the ruling planet of Scorpio, which is Pluto, planet of death and rebirth, is shifting signs from Capricorn, which rules the third dimensional paradigm, into Aquarius, which rules the future, humanity, and coming together with groups of like-minded people for a common purpose or cause. So this is about empowerment. This is about taking your power back, owning your power, leaving behind situations and circumstances along with belief systems and perspectives that are disempowering to you. So as you focus on what it is that you would like to release, let go, purge, and transmute with Pluto's transformation energies, also focus on the idea of empowerment and moving into your divine empowered self. Let's take one last deep healing, cleansing, and balancing breath. And as you exhale, and in your own time when you feel ready, you can open your eyes and return to this time and place and space. So let's go ahead and take a look at what our stones of choice are for this month of November. So I just felt like I was going to pull out some of my necklaces today, and these are your stones of choice. So here we have amber. You can see this one has actually 3 different kinds of amber in it. And amber is going to help with clearing negative lower vibrational energies. It's great for emotional healing and solar plexus chakra healing as well, by the way, with that golden yellow color. And also it provides a strong protection and grounding energy. Okay, and then the stone number 2, this is chrysocolla. It looks like turquoise, but it's a bluish green stone. And chrysocolla is really great for the throat chakra and speaking one's truth. It's actually a great stone for empowerment for women. I'm going to say empowerment for everyone, but especially empowerment for women. And then it also helps to increase our connectedness to inner spiritual wisdom and intuition. And then stone number 3, this is a little bit different. This is sandalwood. I don't know if you can see the sandalwood beads there. Sandalwood helps to bring good luck and magnifies the power of your wishes. This also invokes a sense of relaxation and tranquility, right? Just like the sandalwood kind of essential oil does, right? And it also helps to increase one's self-esteem. So again, your stones of choice are the amber, the chrysocolla, and the sandalwood. Okay. So let's put those aside. Let's talk about the numerology for the month of November. So they're talking about, my angels and guides are saying we need to kind of review. So this is in accordance to the tarot cards, right? Because we are going to liken whatever this numerology vibration is to a tarot card. So yeah, let's start with the numerology vibration before we get into that review of where we've come from with the tarot. So the energy, the single digit energy for the month of November is the number 1. Now, that number 1, of course, it's the first of the single digits. It's about new beginnings, fresh starts, planting new seeds, individuality, confidence, and courage, taking charge of our lives. Now, this comes off of the month of October, which was a 9 universal month, and the 9 was about ending, completion, healing, releasing, letting go, right? Now we're in this month of new beginnings. But before we reduce that number down to a single digit of the 1, it's actually the number 19, and the number 19 is a karmic number. And how do we get that? We take the universal year for 2024, which if we add up those digits equals an 8. We're in an 8 universal year, right? And that's that year of strength, confidence, courage, leadership, take charge, empowerment, which goes well with that Chinese year of the dragon that we're in. We take that universal year energy, we add it to the month in question. So November is the 11th month. We add 11 plus 8 and we get the number 19. Now 1 plus 9 is a 10 and 1 plus 0 is a 1. So that's where the single digit of the 1 comes in. But if we look at the number 19, the double digit of the 19, we've got a 1 and we've got a 9. So the 9, just like we had for October, is still in that influence for this month of November. So we still have this merging of endings and completion, a phase of completion or completion of a story in our lives, if you will, purging, releasing, healing, but it's also coupled with that 1, right, of new beginnings and planting seeds and fresh starts. But all in all, the main vibration is that new beginning, stepping into a new portal, stepping into something new, new opportunities, a new storyline. Okay. Now we're going to review the tarot for a minute, because the 19th major arcana, which vibrates for this month of November, is the Sun card, which is a great card, a brilliant card full of wonderful light, right? But they're wanting to go back to August. August was a 16 karmic number vibration, which was the Tower card. So think back to August. We had a Tower card moment. The rug was pulled out from under us. There was something that hugely shifted in our situation and circumstances, usually on an external level. September was a 17. And although the 17 is not a karmic number or even a master number, it does relate to the star card. So after the Tower card moment of August, we had hope for the future. The star card is about hope and the future potential of where we're going next. And then we were in October last month, which was the number 18. Now, 18 is not a karmic number either, but again, that 18th major arcana in the tarot is the moon card. And that does deal with a lot of subconscious healing, a lot of delving into the shadows, doing healing of our psyche, our belief systems, our perspectives, our perceptions. It can also increase our intuition, our psychic insight as well, and relates to the mystery of the feminine moon or the feminine energies, the divine feminine. Now we're moving into the number 19, which again is the sun card. And in the Syrian Starseed Tarot, which is what we're using for the collective message today, it's called solar deity. And you can see that this is now this brilliant light and rising above something with this Pegasus that's kind of flying near the sun and up and away, right? We also have the kind of this fiery energy on the top of the sun. And it makes me think of transmutation. We're still in Scorpio season, so we're transmuting lower vibrational energies here. We're rising into something new. We're spreading our wings and getting ready to fly. We're energized again. The sun is masculine, whereas the moon of last month was more feminine. So now we're moving into confidence and courage and leadership and energy, vitality. Now, again, remember, we're still dealing with endings and new beginnings within this 19 energy. But this to me is, this feeling of coming out back into the open, right? It feels like we've been sort of in the shadows for a little bit and uncertain about what's going to transpire or come next. Now I feel like our expression is more external and more confident, and we're again spreading our wings into our creative gifts or our path forward, and we're moving forward again with that confidence. The traditional tarot card, which I didn't pull out, but traditionally this can be about success and business and recognition for who you are and how you shine your light, and it also represents your sense of individuality. So all of these things vibrates to this month of November. All right, let's put that aside. Let's talk about the astrological highlights for the month. So on the 1st of November, we start right out of the gate with a new moon in Scorpio at 9 degrees. And new moons are about new beginnings. But this new beginning is still kind of hidden in the shadows because it's Scorpio energy. There's still a little mystery. There's still a little unknown. There's still a healing going on. There's still a purging and cleansing, a death and rebirth, a transmutation and transformation going on, because all of those are key words for Scorpio. But we're still moving into something new with this transformation that we're going through. Now, on the 2nd of November, we've got Mercury, which is the planet that rules the mental realm. He's known as the messenger. He brings us information, messages. It's about communication as well as our thoughts and ideas. Mercury is moving out of Scorpio and into the sign of Sagittarius, where he's actually going to be until January 8th. That's a really long time for Mercury to be in a sign, and that's because he's going to go into a retrograde motion. When he goes retrograde, he's going to retrograde back through some degrees in Sagittarius. Then when he goes direct and moves forward again, this is why it's going to take until January 8th of 2025 before Mercury moves out of Sagittarius. But this can be very inspirational, very creative, very full of vital energy. It's about new horizons and adventures and being adventurous, networking with other people, and just having hope and faith and optimism. All of these are key words for the sign of Sagittarius. Now on the 3rd of November, we've got Mars the warrior, the planet of energy and action, in the last degree of Cancer. So Mars is a fiery planet. It's in a water sign right now to begin on the 3rd of November. So it kind of waters down his energy a little bit. His focus is on emotions, the emotional body, home and family, intuition, our psychic sensitivities, our gut feelings and gut reactions to things. And on the 3rd, we start out with Mars in Cancer opposing Pluto at the last degree of Capricorn, because Pluto's going to make a shift later this month back into Aquarius. So I usually don't talk about these kind of planetary aspects for the monthly readings because, they're mentioned in the weekly, but I feel like this one is very important because Mars and Pluto together can bring some explosive energy, explosive redirections, explosive revelations. Something very powerful can happen here because, again, Pluto rules Scorpio, but Mars is the ancient ruler of Scorpio. Before Pluto was discovered, Mars ruled Scorpio as well as Aries. And so they both have this very kind of explosive warrior-like or transformative sort of energy vibration. And then later on the 3rd, after that transit happens, Mars, the warrior, moves out of Cancer and into the sign of Leo. Fire sign Leo, courageous, confident Leo, leadership-oriented Leo. So he's going to be filtering his energy and action through this fire sign. Now, he's going to be in Leo until January. That's a whole nother story that we're going to have to talk about in some of the weekly readings because Mars is also going to go through a retrograde cycle. He's only going to go up to, I think, 6 degrees of Leo and then turn retrograde. And when he does, he's going to retrograde back into Cancer for a little while. So that's going to be, again, something we'll talk about more in a future video. On the 11th of November, Venus, the planet of love and relationships, as well as money and finances, personal resources, our values, and our sense of self-value, our sense of self-worth. Venus is moving into the sign of Capricorn. So it's coming out of freedom-oriented, liberated, glass half full, optimistic Sagittarius, and it's moving into practical, grounded, conservative, business-like Capricorn. And Venus is going to be in Capricorn until December 7th. So she's a little bit more grounded again, a little bit more practical, all business. This bodes well for focusing on like financial and career matters. In relationship matters, she's just going to be more, I think, conservative and not flashy, just very, again, say it like it is. This is what's happening, again, almost very businesslike in her relationships. And then we skip over to the 15th of November. And on the 15th of November, Saturn, the great teacher of karmic lessons, the planet of restriction, limitation, but also structure and form, is turning back to direct motion at 12 degrees of Pisces. So as he's slowing down the first half of the month, we might feel a little bit more heavy because Saturn is kind of a heavy energy. It rules the third dimensional paradigm, the third dimensional energy that we live with on this planet. Although we are moving up, right, from third dimension to higher dimensions. But it's a heavy energy. And as it's slowing down the first half of the month, we might feel a little heavy. We might feel more fatigued and tired. We might feel a little bit more maybe emotionally frustrated or even depressed. We might feel mentally stuck. So all of these can be attributed to Saturn. But as he's shifting directions, now we're going to be able to express Saturn's structure and form and manifestation energies outward again. Right now it's been internalized as he's been retrograde. So we've been finding our own sense of inner structure. We've been having to restructure aspects of our different spiritual bodies. We've been having to find our own inner authority because Saturn is an authority energy. But now it can be expressed outward, and it's in Pisces. And so we're kind of taking this very authoritarian, practical, grounded, Saturnian energy, but it's in this spiritual sign of Pisces. So we can be, experiencing circumstances where we're kind of combining this restructuring process on a spiritual level, on a level of higher dimensions, if you will. On the same day, the 15th, we have a full moon. Full moons are about endings, completion, releasing, healing, letting go of something. It's at 24 degrees of Taurus, which is a sign that rules the practical. It rules money and finances. It rules our personal resources. It just rules the grounded aspects of our life. But the thing about this full moon in Taurus is that it's connecting with Uranus, the Great Awakener. And so usually Taurus is, again, very stable and grounded and practical and patient and whatnot, persevering, determined. But this connection to Uranus is like awakening us to something. We might have some surprises or some surprising situations or circumstances or redirections or shifts within ourselves that's occurring for that full moon. And then on the 19th of November, this is when Pluto, the transformer, planet of death and rebirth, transformation, regeneration, change and renewal, is moving back into Aquarius. Now, Pluto's been doing this dance between Capricorn and Aquarius for a little while now. It first went into Aquarius from March through June of 2023. So March, April, May, and June of 2023. Then it retrograded back into Capricorn. And then Pluto went into Aquarius again, January until early September of this year, 2024. And then it retrograded back into Capricorn again. So for most of September, October, and just over half of the month of this November month, it has been back in Capricorn. And Capricorn, again, rules the patriarchal system, the old paradigm, business, money, success, power, control, all of these things. And now, as it moves back into Aquarius, this time it's for good within our lifetimes, meaning Pluto is going to be in Aquarius from November 19th of 2024 until the year 2044. So we're talking 20 years that Pluto now is going to be in Aquarius. And Aquarius is the sign of the humanitarian, the sign of the collective, the sign of people coming together of like mind to assist humanity in some way, to further and advance humanity and the group of the collective in some way. It's also about scientific advances. Now, this could be, to our benefit, or this could be, possibly to our detriment, because we're talking about technology like AI. We already have that, but it's going to really start to transform. It's going to really start to grow. Now, let's all hold the intention in our minds and in our hearts that Pluto moving into Aquarius is us moving into this new paradigm of energy, the Aquarian age, where the future is holding promise for all of humanity. So then we're moving to the 25th of November, and this is when Mercury turns retrograde at 22 degrees of Sagittarius. It's going to retrograde all the way back over the next few weeks until 6 degrees of Sagittarius. So it stays in the sign of Sagittarius, which is, again, inspirational and prophetic and glass half full, optimistic. So even though we're going to be redoing, reviewing, revising some things in our lives on a mental level, and this is for the collective as well as us individually, it at least stays in that sign of Sagittarius. And then we end this month, November 30th, with another new moon. So we have 2 new moons this month, which is, not typical, right? We usually have 1 new moon and 1 full moon. But because the first new moon in Scorpio was on the 1st of November, this last new moon for the month of November is on the last day, November 30th. And it's a new moon at 9 degrees of Sagittarius. So again, we're following up with these new beginnings in this energy of inspiration and optimism and expanding into new horizons, or feeling more adventurous, networking with other people. Sagittarius is the big vision and the big picture. And so that goes well with Mercury in Sagittarius and Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius. The Sagittarius energy, along with Pluto moving into Aquarius on the 19th of November, it just feels really good by the time we get to that second half of the month. Now, I'm going to say that full moon on the 15th, conjunct Uranus, might might bring some surprises. But, you know, after that, it feels like we're moving into something bigger, brighter, and better. All right, so let's go ahead and look at the messages from our angels and guides for the month. And the first card is Major Arcana 2, and it's called Higher Self in this deck, but this is the Priestess card in the traditional tarot. And whenever I see the Priestess card, I mean, usually it is shown with like a full moon here, and we do start out the month with a full moon, or excuse me, not a full moon, a new moon in Scorpio. Now, this might mean that between the first and that full moon on the 15th, halfway through, that this energy maybe is the strongest at that time, this Priestess energy. But I was going to say, whenever I see the Priestess card, I always feel like this is divine feminine energy, but it's almost very empowered. So it has almost this feeling of some divine masculine energy with the divine feminine. So this, you know, is a feminine card because it is a priestess. She's holding a book, which normally would be like the book of the Akashic Records, the book of life, okay? She's standing in what looks like water. Now, maybe this is actually standing in universal cosmic energies, right? So whether it's water, which can be very emotional, and that deals with maybe connecting to the Akashic Records for some emotional body healing. But maybe if she's standing here in the cosmic energy, and we've got, again, this kind of full moon energy, and we've got like the cosmos back behind her, this is kind of the empowering, the empowerment of the divine feminine, I feel. So the empowerment of the divine feminine and tapping into the past, the present, the future, which is that book of life, the Akashic Records, healing, you know, past, present, future, really stepping into our higher self as it's labeled, right? The higher self, the cosmic energies of the divine feminine. Now, it doesn't mean that, and if you're a man out there in the world, that this doesn't have any effect on you. This is just about your higher soul self, your spiritual self. This is about the divine feminine within you, because we all have divine feminine and we all have divine masculine or feminine and masculine energies that's maybe not so divine within us that we're trying to heal and balance. This doorway behind her, it almost reminds me of like a keyhole in a door, right? The old time doors that had the like the keyhole that was like larger, and you had to stick this, you know, kind of long key into the keyhole. So it reminds me of, you know, there's something that we're unlocking here. Maybe we're unlocking past life gifts, talents, and abilities with this Akashic Book of Records here. You know, we're unlocking the connection to our higher soul self, which our higher self is always with us, always been with us. But maybe we're able to access it a little more, which means we're able to access our psychic gifts, our psychic powers, our actual like gifts and talents and abilities, our healing abilities. We're moving into a higher version of ourselves, higher meaning higher energy version of ourselves. And so again, this is a great way to start out the month. And with the major arcana, right, this is very soul related, right? With the minor arcana, we're talking about the day-to-day details of life. But when we have a major arcana, it's about the evolution of our soul and the evolution of the collective. Let's go ahead and look at card number 2. Okay, so card number 2 is also a major arcana. So again, very related to soul evolution and growth, or collective evolution and growth. This is major arcana 7, the Chariot. Now, the Chariot card in the traditional tarot usually only has 2 horses. One horse is pulling off to one direction, and the second horse is pulling off a little bit into the other direction, which means the Chariot in the traditional tarot has to bring these kind of opposing energies into alignment and into focus in order to move forward in a faster, more beneficial manner. This particular Chariot card has 5 horses. So we've got one horse in the center that is focused in the direct, straightaway, you know, motion here. 2 horses on one side pulling in one direction, 2 horses on the other pulling in another, total of 5 horses. So there's a strong desire to move forward, but also maybe a strong undercurrent of being pulled in two different directions. Now, again, this can be personally, but this can also be on a collective level, which makes sense because here in the United States, we are in the beginning of the month going to have our election, right? And I'm not going to get into that, but this would be kind of like opposing viewpoints, pulling in opposite directions. Yet we have, I'm going to call this like a spiritual horse in the center that knows the direction that we're needing to be heading towards at this time. So we've got the chariot and the charioteer here being pulled by all of these horses. We just need to kind of bring things into a balance or into a focus in order to move forward in a better, clearer way. And it's interesting that there's this little dash of color here at the bottom, a little bit of golden yellow, which is solar plexus chakra, our center of power and courage, and confidence and leadership and just that sense of empowerment, right, of that solar plexus chakra area. And then we got a splash of orange, which relates to the sacral chakra area, which is kind of like goddess energy to me. It deals with our passions and our sensuality, sexuality, our creative self-expression, and our intuition. That goes with the emotional body level. And so here again, we've got, it's almost like divine masculine with the golden yellow solar plexus chakra and divine feminine with the orange sacral chakra energy. So I love that, you know, these two cards coming out first is really indicating that there's some very magnified evolutionary growth energies happening on a collective level for all of us. But this also does relate to us personally, right? And moving forward with our lives, with our direction, with our purpose in some way. All right. So the last card came out as two cards. So the first of those two cards is the Adept of Flames. Now, in the traditional tarot, this is like the Knight of Wands. Now, it's interesting that we still have this golden yellow color here at the solar plexus chakra. Got a golden yellow candle right behind him. So again, it's highlighting this confidence, courage, empowerment, personal power, leadership energy here, right? Take charge energy. And the Knight of Wands, or the Adept of Flames, although it doesn't appear this way in this card, is usually, in a traditional sense, it's a knight on a horse galloping forward fast and furious. So the knights are usually a very fast-moving energy, and especially in the suit of flames, fire, or wands, it's the fastest moving of the knights. So there's something happening very quickly, something transpiring quickly. This, you know, the knight is adventurous and exciting and full of energy and vitality, and again, moving very quickly towards his sense of empowerment. The interesting thing about this card is that he's wearing this very dark kind of purple garb, right? And this purple color is crown chakra energy. So it's like merging this personal power with the spiritual or the higher soul self even, right? So here we've got the higher self. But this is like merging our spirituality and our ego selves together. So I like that, right? Because sometimes the Adept of Flames or the Knight of Wands, sometimes they can be a little into their ego or egotistical or all about them and like, look at me. But this particular card from this particular deck has this feeling that this knight is calm, cool, and collected. He's balanced in his spiritual energies. And he's, you know, in this leadership energy or personal power energy that's connected with higher self. Now, the card that came out with that is the Nine of Chalices. This is beautiful because this is like the Nine of Cups. So like I said, as we're moving into maybe the second half of the month, this is the wish card. This is our hopes and dreams and wishes at some point coming true, like they're starting to unfold and come true. And we've got the rays of light from, I guess it's either the sun or the moon. It's hard to tell here, right? The sun or the moon is shining its light upon this person with all of their chalices lined up in a nice symmetrical pattern. you know, the dreams that they hold for the future coming to fruition. The number 9 is a very humanitarian number, very artistic, creative, and spiritual number. So again, this goes well with coming out with the adept of flames with his spiritual purple garb on. So I feel like we're moving into a good place as we near the end of this month, and hopefully as we move into the year of 2025, which incidentally is going to be a universal year of the number 9. And the 9 is the completion of a cycle. And again, it's artistic, creative, spiritual, humanitarian, loving, compassionate. It's all these wonderful qualities. And so, you know, this has a kind of a good feel to it. Now let's go ahead and see what the message is from your angels and guides from the Star Temple Oracle. So we're going to give this a little shuffle. And that first stone of choice was the amber necklace, right? So for the amber necklace people, special message for amber people. This one's calling my attention right here. And it says the Star Daughters, and it says dance on the card. And it says on the bottom, I dance, sing, and play with my sisters at sunset. So sunset, you know, could be metaphoric, like there's something coming to completion and a close. The sun is setting. And now I'm celebrating and dancing with my sisters, right? It has a very, again, divine feminine feel to it, because we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Looks like there's 7 women here dancing amongst the butterflies, which is about new beginnings, transformation, spreading one's wings in a creative way. We've got sparkles of light from higher God source energy universe. We've got bubbles of light. Remember those, the bubbles that we used to blow through the little sticks as kids? There's lots of little bubbles here that maybe could be housing our dreams, our hopes, our wishes, sort of like this 9 of Chalices card. So it just has this feeling of, again, this could be literally coming together with people of like mind, with your soul sisters, with your sisters, or your soul brothers, right? Whether if you're a man or a woman, it's like coming together with people of like mind that are in this energy of celebration, of you know, really like moving forward into this transformative, higher vibrational, higher dimensional energy. Let's all come together and let's, you know, make life better, and let's do something important, and let's support humanity and make this all a better place for us. So dance and celebrate kind of is that message. Let's look at the special message for the Chrysocolla people. So Chrysocolla people, message, special message for the month of November for Chrysocolla. This one's calling my attention here. And it's called the Sacred Orchard, and it says co-create. And at the bottom, it says my abundance mindset attracts endless blessings. Oh, I love that. So my abundance mindset attracts endless blessings. So this is about being co-creator with God source energy, universe, or goddess. You are a creator with the divine creator. So what is it that you want to create, right? What is the new thing, the new beginning, the new energy within yourself, or the new situation outside of yourself that you want to create? Now, granted, the Star Temple Oracle, I think it's all like women or girls or, you know, young maidens or whatever in this card. But again, a very divine feminine energy, right? It's almost like this goddess energy, and she's got this wreath, you know, it looks like a wreath of stars around her head. I don't know what she's holding in her hand. I almost at first thought it was a chalice, but no, it's not really. But she's holding something. But again, it's like, what do you want to manifest? She's in this mode of, you know, poof, I'm going to manifest something. I'm of the heavens. I'm of the stars. I'm of the cosmos with my wreath of stars around my head. And And she's even got something around her throat chakra, right? Like a wreath of stars around her throat chakra. So speaking your truth, and part of manifestation could be speaking your intentions out loud. Yes, it's great to think them. Yes, it's great to visualize them. Yes, it's great to write out your intentions. But if you speak them then out loud with a confidence and with a certain sense of personal power in your words, that's going to allow them to manifest even more quickly. So the sacred orchard, I mean, I know it says orchard, but I think orchids. And I see all this purple energy down here, almost like purple flowers, even though it's not, I don't think purple flowers down there. But again, it has that spiritual feeling to it. We've got the indigo blue of the third eye chakra. We've got the purple down here of the crown chakra. She's got that wreath around kind of where her third eye and her crown is. So this is very high vibrational energy. And I don't know why I keep thinking orchids, but you might want to look up the flower essence. Orchids. I don't know. I take flower essences and I love flower essences, but I don't know what the orchid symbolizes. But if some of you like that vibrational medicine, that vibrational healing in flower essences, look up orchid flower essence and see what it has in store for you maybe. All right, let's put that back in the deck. And it also looks like she has a lapis ring on here, right, with that indigo blue color. And lapis is a third eye stone as well. All right, and then for the sandalwood people, so special message for the sandalwood people, sandalwood. Special message for this month of November for sandalwood. Okay. This one's calling my attention right here. This is the goddess of balance, and it says equality on it. It almost has that feeling of Libra, even though we're out of Libra season, but balance, equality, harmony, right? Compromise, cooperation. There's a lot of gold in this card. So again, we've got solar plexus chakra, which is personal power, confidence, courage. The things that she's holding in her hands, which actually are two planets, now that I turn it around and look at it, they're kind of a orangey color. So again, we've got the solar plexus and the sacral chakra highlighted. The sacral chakra is the goddess energy, the emotion, the creative self-expression, the sensuality. And she is quite the goddess here. And she's got a circle of the gold around her head. It says at the bottom, I create and foster reciprocal relationships. So it does have that feeling of Libra, folks. And interestingly enough, the North and South Node are, about karmic destiny points in astrology. And the South Node is in Libra. And they've been there for over a year now, where the North Node is an Aries, sign of the self, the individual. Take charge, focus on what you need and what you want in the relationship. But the South Node, which is the past and karmic ties and karmic circumstances from past lives, has been in Libra for over a year. And this is, again, the relationships, the partnerships, and where there's been an imbalance or an inequality going on and needing to kind of sort out that balance between self and others. And the nodes, and I mentioned the nodes because the nodes are going to start moving a little bit more quickly now through the end of the year. They've been kind of hanging out at the same degree for, it seems like, a couple of months. But now they're going to start to move, and they move backwards. So they were at 6 degrees and hanging out at 6 degrees for quite a long time. But now they're going to move to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. When they get to 0, they move into the next 2 signs of the zodiac, the pair of Pisces and Virgo. So this is about like the completion and clearing out of old karmic cycles with either relationship perspectives, relationship belief systems, maybe actual relationships, where we're again kind of cleansing some of that and coming into what is it that you do want to create and foster in your relationships? Well, it's all about equality, right? We want equality in our relationships. We don't want it to be imbalanced where there's one over the other or more powerful than the other or more recognized than the other. We want it to be balanced and equal. So that's what you all are working on. So thank you so much for tuning into the monthly November reading. Make sure you're also tuning into the weekly as well. And thank you so much for your love, support, your comments on my videos, checking me out on Facebook and Instagram. I send you all lots of love and light and many, many angel blessings. Namaste.